Hello and welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And a warm welcome to you all to our Building Character unit for this month. Now, the article we'll be reading for today and tomorrow is all about having a sense of humor.
So when people use this term, sense of humor, what they're basically saying is that you are funny, you have a sense of humor, or, they're talking about what makes you laugh.
Yeah, okay. And we would say, for example, that person has a great sense of humor. They love to make jokes, and also they love to laugh at other people's jokes.
Yeah, they're funny. And if a person doesn't have a sense of humor, maybe that person's really serious or gets angry when somebody's telling them a joke. Maybe they never smile.
I don't think that's funny at all.
Yeah.
I don't think we should joke about this, no. But having a sense of humor can also be really different from person to person, right? Some people love to laugh, while others, they don't really make jokes or laugh at other people's jokes very much at all.
Right.
We're all different.
In the article, the author will talk about how she grew up in a family that didn't laugh very much. Her parents were very serious people.
Yeah, right. And this brings up a good point. Humor and what people think is funny, this is a very personal thing, isn't it?
Right.
If your parents didn't laugh a lot or tell jokes, you might not have the same sense of humor as other people.
Right, and also culture has a big effect on people's sense of humor. What makes a German person laugh might be super different from what makes a Japanese person or British person, American person, Taiwanese person laugh. We all have different senses of humor.
Yeah, in English we often say, it's a very British sense of humor, different from other types of countries or comedy from other places.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that what people find funny, it does depend on the person. So these things are personal, like your taste in movies or food or clothes. Or, it's all different from person to person.
Okay, so let's check out the first day of the article right now after we learn about all of the new vocabulary. 今天的文章谈到 a sense of humor 幽默感，因为家庭的缘故，作者一家非常严肃，所以很少开玩笑。其实他的幽默感是长大才培养的呢。我们先来看几个单字，第一个单字是 honesty， 诚实是个名词。英文有一句名言 ，honesty is the best policy。Honesty is the best policy. 诚实为上策是个不错的相处原则哦。第二个单字 ability， 能力是个名词。Spider-Man has the ability to hang from buildings. Spider-Man has the ability to hang from buildings. 蜘蛛人有吊挂在建筑物上的能力。第三个单字 introduce， 介绍。带领是个动词。Can you introduce me to Uncle Roger? Can you introduce me to Uncle Roger? 你能介绍我给 Uncle Roger 叔叔认识吗？最后一个单字 humorous 幽默的是个形容词。You're more humorous than Timmy. You're more humorous than Timmy. 你比 Timmy 幽默多了。好了，我们现在看完单字例句，一起来看课文吧。
Can you tell when someone is joking? In all honesty, I can't always tell. That's because I grew up in a very serious family. They never told jokes and seldom laughed.
Explanation 1.
Okay, so the article is titled, Do You Have a Sense of Humor? It's a good question, and as we mentioned, the writer will be looking at her own sense of humor, how growing up in her family affected it, and then how it changed over the years as she grew up. But before we get into it, let's check out the first grammar point that we have today, and it comes right from our title, and Daphne is here to tell us all about it.
大家好，我是 Daphne。今天的第一则文法是 a sense of humor， 意思是幽默感。sense 是可数名词，意思是感知、判断力。后方搭配表示技能或特质的不可数名词。例如 a sense of direction， 方向感 a sense of security 安全感 a sense of rhythm 节奏感。我们来看个例句 Teresa has a good sense of humor. Teresa 很有幽默感。
So, Do You Have a Sense of Humor is the title, and now it's time to start reading.
We can see that the article begins with the author asking us, the reader, a fairly simple question. It says, can you tell when someone is joking? Okay, so that seems like a simple question, but is it really?
Yeah, I mean, if it's in a comedy movie or if your funny friend says something to make you laugh, well, sure, that might be easy to tell that this is a joke. But what about if your teacher or your boss or someone you just met says something funny? Are they trying to be funny? Are you supposed to laugh at what they said?
Yeah. And if you do laugh, what if they weren't joking? That would be weird too.
Yeah, that would be really weird. So you see, it isn't always easy to tell if someone is making a joke.
Yeah, and for the writer of our article, she definitely has the problem of not knowing when to laugh. She writes, in all honesty, I can't always tell. Oh, so she's very honest to tell the truth about this. Some people might not be very comfortable when they talk about themselves not having a good sense of humor.
Yeah, that's true, but she's telling her own story, so she wants to be very open about these things in her life. And then she actually goes on to explain a little bit about why she might have problems understanding other people's sense of humor.
Right, so she continues, that's because I grew up in a very serious family. They never told jokes and seldom laughed. Ooh, interesting. So she might have been happy as a child and had great parents who taught her a lot and gave her a lot of love, but maybe they just weren't naturally funny people. So she never really learned about comedy, jokes, and laughter. So let's pause right here so that Daphne can tell us about our second grammar point, which comes from that last sentence that we just read.
第二则文法是 tell a joke， 意思是说笑话。tell 是及物动词，意思是讲、说。三态是 tell、told、told。joke 是可数名词，意思是玩笑话。Tell a joke 就是讲笑话，至于听得懂笑话，则是 get a joke。我们来看个例句 ：Newt told a joke to cheer everybody up。Newt 说了个笑话，让大家打起精神。
作者在非常严肃的家庭长大，所以他可能很少接触到好笑的事情或是放声大笑。Comedy 是名词，可以用来表达喜剧或是喜剧性的。顺便补充，喜剧演员就是 comedian， 而 laughter 名词是大笑的意思。Okay, so it looks like it's time for our break right now. Let's go do that, and then we'll come back for the second half of the article.
I developed a sense of humor later in life. I had a few good friends, and they helped me with this ability. They introduced me to humorous things. They also showed me different ways to be funny. Some people tell jokes or make funny faces. Others change their voices to say one thing but mean another.
Explanation 2.
So, the writer of our story grew up in a good home with nice parents. She had a perfectly normal and happy childhood.
Okay, but there was one thing that her parents never taught her about or passed on to her, and that was the experience of laughter and comedy. They just weren't really the type of people who liked to make jokes, so our writer grew up without really developing a great sense of humor.
At least not until later when she left home to go off on her own. We learn about this in the next part of the article. It says, I developed a sense of humor later in life.
And how did she do this? Well, we read, I had a few good friends and they helped me with this ability. Yes, that's great news. I'm glad that she learned how to laugh later on in her life.
Yeah, me too. And friends actually can be the best people to make you laugh, right?
Yes.
You're all the same age, you have a lot of the same experiences, and sometimes you can just be more relaxed around your friends.
Yeah.
And it seems that her friends like to laugh, and so they showed her how things can be funny. We read, they introduced me to humorous things. Funny jokes, movies, TV shows, things like that.
And along with showing her funny things, these friends also helped her develop her sense of humor in other ways. The next sentence says, they also showed me different ways to be funny. She gives a couple of examples. Some people tell jokes or make funny faces. Absolutely. You might have a friend who knows lots of jokes, or maybe you like to watch comedians tell jokes on TV or on YouTube.
Yeah, and some of these comedians, like Jim Carrey, for instance,
yeah.
they have amazing faces that they can stretch and pull into all sorts of funny faces. And before we finish today's article, let's welcome Daphne to make funny faces to us.
Oh?
No, not really. She's here to tell us about our final grammar point.
第三则文法是 make a face， 意思是做鬼脸。make 是及物动词，意思是做。三态是 make、made、made。face 是可数名词，意思是表情。make a face 字面意思就是做表情，引申指扮鬼脸。后方可以用介系词 at 朝着引出扮鬼脸的对象。我们来看个例句。Queenie made a face at her sister. Queenie 朝姐姐扮了个鬼脸。
So we finish our article with another good example of how you can make other people laugh. It says, others change their voices to say one thing but mean another. Yes, Grandma, I would love to see 300 pictures of your holiday in Japan. Yeah, you can do all sorts of things to be funny in all sorts of different ways.
And there are also many funny videos, movies, and TV shows out there that you can watch to get some ideas and to make you laugh.
Yeah, so it's great that this girl is trying to develop her sense of humor, because really, being able to laugh and make others laugh, if you can, is a great gift for you and for them. Laughter can bring lots and lots of joy to your life and to the world around you. Now, we hope you've enjoyed our article, and we'll be back with more tomorrow about getting a sense of humor. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Do you have a sense of humor? Can you tell when someone is joking? In all honesty, I can't always tell. That's because I grew up in a very serious family. They never told jokes and seldom laughed. I developed a sense of humor later in life. I had a few good friends, and they helped me with this ability. They introduced me to humorous things. They also showed me different ways to be funny. Some people tell jokes or make funny faces. Others change their voices to say one thing but mean another.
Hey, where are we going today?
We're going to Nangang.
We can take the local train there.
Actually, we can take the MRT.
It's pretty convenient here. We can take the high-speed rail, local train, or the MRT.
Yep, but let me see which way is cheapest first.
It's cheapest by local train.
Yeah, but the next one won't be here until 50 minutes from now.
No problem. We can eat something first.
Okay, let's go to the food court.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 欢迎收看我们1分钟的单元。在这1分钟时间里面，我们要来复习4个单字，还会造句练习。同学们，你都准备好没？1分钟计时开始。第一个单字，它是名词，表示诚实、坦率。这字怎么说呢？同学们知不知道诚实的这个形容词叫做 honest， 后面加上 y 就变名词 honesty 表示诚实、坦率。I admire your courage and honesty。我很钦佩、很赞赏你的勇气与诚实。第二单字是指能力，能力怎么说？叫做 ability。The medicine won't affect your ability to drive。这种药不会影响到你的驾驶能力。第三单字呢是表达介绍、带领，这个字叫做 introduce。像我们可以用 introduce somebody to 加上某个东西，就可以表达把什么什么介绍给某人，让某人来初次体验这个东西。像是 his friend introduced him to curling， 他的朋友介绍他来接触冰石湖的这种运动。第四个单字呢，它可以来形容是幽默风趣的，幽默叫做 humor， 后面加上 ous 就变形容词 humorous， 幽默风趣的。The story is touching as well as humorous， 那个故事又感人又幽默，那个故事让人又哭又笑，又感人又幽默。好啦，不管怎么样，我现在过不了关，有点想哭，但是已经结局了，所以应该要笑。不管怎么样，我们下次见了，一起加油，拜拜。
See you next time.